G'day everyone, up here in sunny Queensland. I've been having an absolute ball catching barra in the lake. I'll run you through the kit that I've been using to catch all the fish. So firstly, a good selection of plastics, and I really like the diesel minnows in 7-inch and 5-inch because the diesel minnow, it's got a great action, it's got a nice body roll, and the barra seem to really love them. So the two colours that I've been finding most effective are the pearl and also the smoky shad, and that's simply because they're bony brim colours, and there's a lot of bony brim in this lake, and barra just love eating bony brim. So to rig your soft plastic up, there's a couple of different jig heads that I use, and it's dependent on what sort of cover you're fishing in. So if you're fishing in open areas, I use one of the swim locks, and if I'm fishing in heavy weed, which there's a lot of it in this lake, I'll use one of the snake locks. So the thing with the swim locks is that you've got the extra hook ring at the bottom, which you can add a treble to, and barra have got very big bony mouths, so you want to have as much chance as you can to hooking that fish. So by adding the treble there on the bottom, you're adding 3 more hooks, and you're just going to find that fish's mouth a lot better. So I'll rig one up just to show you how easy they are to get set up. So we'll get our plastic out of the bag, and like with all soft plastics, I've said it 100 times, but measure the jig head against the soft plastic so you know where that point is going to come out. And these Elastic Z-Mans are very stretchy but really strong, so they do take a bit of pushing to get on there. So make sure it's on there nice and straight so that it swims properly, and I'll show you a little trick you can use to stop the soft plastic from coming off the hook when a fish grabs it. So simply pinch a piece of the plastic at the front there and pull it up over the eye of the hook. And once you get to it over the eye of the hook, just give it a rub with your finger, and that'll break the plastic through, and it'll just hook on there like that. And that stops it from coming off when a fish grabs it. Okay, so that's the swim locks. So that's when we're fishing in open areas. I'll show you how to rig up one of the weedless ones. So we need to remember 2 things when we're rigging up weedless. You need to know where the bend of the hook's going to come out, and also where the eye of the hook's going to come out, because that actually sits inside the plastic. So I'll show you how to rig that up now. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring that hook point through the center of the plastic, and we're going to just pierce it through the bottom, and that needs to be at a distance that's going to make that eye of the hook sit perfectly with a little chin lead weight there. So we're bringing that up, and you'll find when you get it right, it'll sit neatly just like that. And then once you've done that, I'll bring this around the front so you can see. We need to bring this hook point through this position here to make the plastic sit nice and straight. So what we need to do, you just need to bend it, and you can always redo it if you need to, because it needs to be nice and straight. So we're going to go inside the plastic there, and we're just going to pierce it through like that. And you'll find that when you get it right, that hook disappears inside the plastic, so it'll pull through the weed seamlessly. But when a fish grabs it, it exposes the hook point, and I've found that the hook up on these is very, very good. I'm actually surprised how well it works. And what's great about this bait is that you can fish it right through those heavy weed beds, which the barra do sit, particularly in Faust and lots of other places, and also snags and things like that too. So if you're not sure that you're going to be able to bring your plastic back through that sort of stuff, you need to use one of these snake locks because it'll get it through. So what's really cool about these snake locks is they've got a removable chin weight, so you can fish it like that, which is good for fishing. That's a 1/2 ounce one, so that's good for waters say up to 5 or 6 meters. And then if you want to fish this unweighted, all you need to do is unclip the chin weight, and you can put that back in the tackle box for later, and then you can fish it unweighted like that. And in Faust, it's really, really cool. You can sight cast barra in the weed, and what I do when I'm doing that is use the unweighted Z-Man, because they actually float. They'll sit up on the surface, and it's perfect for fishing over that real heavy weed, fishing to sight cast fish. If you want to put the chin weight back on, all you do is pick which way it's going to sit up, make sure it sits the right way up, and then just clip it back on there. Just like that, easy as. So I've been using both 1/2 ounce weights for the 5-inch and the 7-inch. The only difference is is that I use a 8/0 hook for the 7" and then a 6/0 hook for the 5". They're the two really effective, awesome barra baits. And what's great about these is, you know, there's lots of expensive barra lures on the market, but you can buy a packet of 3 swimmers for about $18. You can buy a packet of jig heads for under $15, and you know, that gives you 3 lures, and these things last for a lot of barra, so you get a lot of bang for your buck. So the leader I've been using is the new Platypus Hard Armor Tough leader, and that's in 80 pound, and I'd strongly recommend that you use at least 80 pound for these fish, because they've got such raspy teeth, they've got big gill, sharp gill rakers, and they will rasp you off, so you need to use that heavy leader. And what's really cool about this leader is it's Aussie made here in Brisbane, and I reckon that's pretty special to be able to use something made here in Brisbane for a fish that you're catching in the same state. So sometimes if the fish are following and they're being a little bit funny, I really like to add a little bit of ProCure scent to the plastic. I reckon that's really good that that's optional, so you don't always have to have it on there, but this stuff does actually work. I didn't use scents before, but I do now, because I think in those times, you know, when they are following and they're not biting it properly, something like this can just seal the deal. And I put all of these bits and pieces in one of the Tackle Tactics plastic bags. These are really cool because I've got all my jig heads, I've got all my barra plastics, I've written on there that this is for barra, and it keeps it all neat and tidy, because I'm one that makes a really big mess, but this, you know, keeps everything just exactly where it's supposed to be. So once again, rods and reels, it's the Komodo swim bait setup. It's the 8-footer, it's been really brilliant for cod, it's really good for barra. I've got the KS273 loaded with 50-pound Platypus Super Braid, and I find that's great for casting plastics of both sizes, both the 5" and the 7". So if I'm chucking around a larger bait like the Bagley Monster Shad, I'm using that same 8-foot swim bait rod, but I'm just using the larger 364 reel, again loaded with that Platypus Super Braid. So that's my barra kit. Hopefully it's given you a good kickstarter if you come up and try it for yourself. I've got a beautiful run of timber coming up to fish. I'm going to go out and get into it.